You know you love the Dan Le Batard Show on ESPN Radio.
If you don't mind, and I don't usually like to start conversations this way when I'm just sort of talking to somebody, but where did your love of alcohol begin?
Well, I'm Irish, so
Okay.
unfortunately
Yeah.
it's in the genetic makeup.
Mm-hmm.
My parents are Irish, so there's no English blood in me. We just have a fondness for the ale, I'm afraid. But saying that, it's a good thing to be into if you're going to become a rock star, because there's loads of it, and the best thing about it is it's free.
How supportive were your parents of like the career choices you were making?
My dad didn't say one way or the other. My mother still thinks I work in a bank.
You haven't told her yet?
Yeah, no, I haven't told her yet, no, but she's wondering why the mortgage on the house has been paid off. She just said, do whatever it is that makes you happy, and make sure the police don't come round.
And you
you
kind of succeeded at that, right? Kind of.
Yes, but Sting did pay her a visit once. I apologise for that.
What happened?
Sting came round from the police.
Oh, Sting!
You know.
I thought you were saying that was a joke. I thought you said there was an actual Sting near your house. I'm sorry for misunderstanding you.
No, that was a joke.
Okay, yes.
Come on.
You have a lot of famous friends, right? Don't you have a lot of famous friends?
I do. All my friends are famous. I don't really mix with ordinary people.
What happened with you and Wayne Rooney? What happened? Didn't he ask for your autograph on a guitar?
No, his wife sent me a very expensive guitar for me to sign for him for his 25th birthday or something, whenever it was. And I took it to a builder's yard and got it dipped in blue paint and defaced it and sent it back with a note saying, if you want anything else signing, tell him to send his Bentley, which is a very expensive motor vehicle. Yeah.
You enjoyed that. Like, you personally, rock star Noel Gallagher personally went and got the guitar dipped because you wanted to make sure that...
Oh, yeah, because, let's not be funny about this, I hate him.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, God. The fact that you've mentioned his name and now I've got a picture of him in my head has ruined my entire day.
Well, why'd you send him something so nice?
Because it was requested, because Wayne Rooney's a huge fan of Oasis, and he wanted
Well, it's safe to say he was.
Yeah. Did you get a report back?
He sent me the very next game that Man City played Man United. He happened to score the winner, and he sent me a signed picture of him celebrating the winning goal. A framed picture, which I duly smashed into little bits and sent it back to him.
That's so awesome.
So wait a minute, like, how did that get into your hands? I want the backstory on that, like how one mails Noel Gallagher something, like, because now you've got a good beef going with Wayne Rooney.
Well, obviously, he sent it by the people that he sent the guitar with, and it turned up at my office, and I opened it, and I thought, you cheeky bastard. And I smashed it. And we refer to him as SpongeBob SquarePants, so I put a little sticker of SpongeBob SquarePants over his face.
Going back to how it is you became who you became, when did you realize that you had made it or you had accomplished something?
When one of my management called me up and said, I'm just about to deposit £1 million into your bank account. So I said, great, let's ramp this up then.
What was the struggle like? What was the musical struggle like? Was there a point where you guys thought you'd never make it?
We were going for 3 years before anybody showed any interest in us, but we were doing it for the love of the music. You know what I mean? We weren't chasing success. We never sent a single solitary tape to one record label ever once. And we figured if we were good enough, they would come to us, you know, and they did. And which is why we were so arrogant about it, because we never asked for a record deal. It's like you asked us for a record deal.
How does that
Don't come that about being unprofessional to me. I was quite happy being unemployed.
But how does that work? How did you get discovered?
We were playing in a nightclub in Scotland, and the head of a record label, there was a train station around the corner, and he was from Glasgow, and he'd been up to see his sister, and he missed his train, and he just happened to wander in as we ambled on stage, and we did 5 songs, and at the end of the set, he just came up to me, and he said, who are you? And I said, I'm an Oasis. And he said, do you have a record deal? And I said, no. And he said, do you want one? And I said, yes, please. Thank you very much. And that was it.
So you guys never sought this? That seems crazy.
No.
So really, you were in it for the purity of the music.
Yeah, man.
But that's not common for someone, I would say. Would you say, well, maybe I'm wrong?
No, you want to get discovered.
No, I don't think that's a common, that someone's 100%.
No,
every time we talk to a rock star, they say, I got it into it for the women.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was in it for the women and the you know, and the extracurricular stuff. Really, the music came a poor third.
Okay,
but we never really were kind of phoning up record labels saying, "Come to see us," you know, "Come to see us, come to see us. We're really great." I thought if we were good enough, you know, the music business would come to us, and it did.
Correct me if I'm wrong on this, but you met your wife at Club Space in Ibiza. Now, I've been there, and marriages don't marriages don't usually happen there.
Not
Sex happens there.
Yeah, marriage does. You're right. You're right.
I am right. And so describe that evening. Like, what the hell happened that night?
There used to be an open-fronted thing where it was just like a terrace. Now it's like an enclosed nightclub, and I was sat on a step having a cigarette and a beer, and as the crowd kind of cleared, sat on the opposite step was my future wife, and we kind of locked horns, and she tells the story of me kind of going over to her, and she said the first thing I said was, "Could you hold this beer while I go to the toilet?"
Did she know who you were?
She says she didn't, but of course she did. Because if you see my wife, there's no way she'd look twice at a guy like me if I wasn't who I was.
Wait a minute.
She's beautiful, and I'm not. You know what I mean?
But you're a rock
Wait a minute.
star.
You started the relationship with a lie. Yes, well, exactly. You started the relationship with a lie where she says she doesn't know who you are, but of course she knows who you are.
Of course she knew who I was.
Again, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds. I have a new album, Chasing Yesterday. It's going to be available March 3rd. If you want more information on the album or their tour visits, you go to noelgallagher.com. You and Russell Brand must...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, you guys must get along so well. Seriously.
Yeah. He's one of my best friends, Russ.
But how much? I mean, he was the best man at your wedding, right?
That's right, yeah. He gave a quite wonderful speech that, to the untrained ear, was a spontaneous outburst of affection for a friend. But anybody to the trained ear, he was like thinking, hang on a minute, he's just doing his act.
He was just doing it. He didn't even give you new material for your wedding?
No. I was thinking, I've seen this on a DVD, you cheap bastard.
He mailed it in?
Yeah. I was like, hang on a minute, I've seen you do this.
He was rewriting jokes. Everybody's roaring with laughter.
Everyone's laughing, going, oh, isn't Russ great? I was like, the cheap couldn't even write an original speech.
How'd you guys become friends?
He was on a kind of like a late night TV show over here. Oh God, it's getting back like 13 years ago now. And is when he had that big mad hairdo, and we happened to happen upon it one night, and we were like, oh, isn't this guy interesting? He's funny, and you know, I mean, he had a way with the language and all that. And then just so happened he happened to be doing we found out he was a comedian, and he happened to be performing in a place not far from where we live. So we went to see him, and there was I'd like to say there was about a dozen people there, and he was extremely funny. But him being the way that he is, he kind of, when he seen me walk in, I think he cut his set short, and he befriended me, and he's been mithering me ever since for the last 13 years. Will you come on a radio show? Will you do this? Will you be in a film? Can I borrow this off you? Will you do that? Will you back me in the politics? It's just like, leave that out, mate.
You guys have such similar sensibilities, though. Like, it seems like you have you got life figured out. You know, aside from the drug problems and all that.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I got to say, man, he's a lovely guy, and he's a brilliant comedian. My kids think he's amazing. When he comes around to my house, they just think he's like some hairy wind-up toy that I brought back from the toy shop. And he's great. He's a dude, and he's a very complicated man. But he is side-splittingly hilarious, and I love him dearly.
Well, when you say he's very complicated, do you guys talk about, like, he's got some demons, like he's had some, and he talks very openly about his addictions. Do you guys talk about any of that, or you just spend
yeah? I said to him once when I first met him, I said, so you can't have one beer? Not one bit. And he was going, "Oh, no, darling. Oh, I should say, if I have one sip of a beverage of lager, I'll end up in a crack house by 3 a.m. And I was like shouting, "Get this man there, I'll come with you."
You say everything's positive, and you do have a fun spirit about everything that you experienced. I'm wondering, though, having your family dynamics play out in public, that wasn't unpleasant?
What, with the other fella?
The other fella, yeah, the crazy one.
Yeah, that's not cool, but that's not on my behalf. I'm afraid that's on the other fella's behalf, and he's not cool, so there you go.
Like, that's got to be so weird. You guys, did I read this correctly? You guys broke up 5 minutes before a show in, was it Paris?
Yeah. Yes, it was, I think it was about, in fact, that tour manager came in and said 10 minutes to showtime as I was leaving. Yeah.
Well, what is that? What happened? Like,
there was only 3 gigs left on the entire tour, and it was a bit of it wasn't the best of times on that tour. I was having a great time, but Liam wasn't having a great time. And when Liam was having a great time, we tend to take it out on everybody else. And in the end, I just got worn down so much by it. I just thought, I'm off. And I left, and that was it.
I mean, you left 30,000 people just in the audience? That's it? Like, it's
I did leave 35,000 French people booing.
You don't seem to care. You seem delighted with it, actually.
What is that? Like, what?
And when you got to go, you got to go.
Yeah. I mean,
I've since been back to that same festival, and I did it last year, and I got away with it.
I know, but Noel, you couldn't finish out, in the name of professionalism and love of music and love of family, you couldn't finish out 3 more shows?
Well, I say to them what I said to you before. I never asked for a record deal. I was quite happy being unemployed, so I'm afraid when I've got to go, I've got to go. Au revoir.
Okay, fair enough. Let's end it on that note. Again, go check out his new album, Noel Gallagher's High Flying Birds, Chasing Yesterday, available March 3rd. NoelGallagher.com is where you go. That was a lot of fun. We appreciate you spending that much time with us, Noel. Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much.
The Dan Le Batard Show, weekdays at 4 Eastern on ESPN Radio and on the ESPN Radio app.